You must survive a zombie apocalypse while food supplies are running low, and millions of zombies are reaching your location, and you must complete your school homework or else. Stick to the end and I'll show you how to beat the school kid zombies in school live. Everyone in this school is already dead. Yuki here wakes up with her dog and is late for class, and she rushes out of her room into the school and meets her school friends for breakfast. Delicious spaghetti breakfast, delicious. They are part of the school life club, where they do activities inside the school and never leave. She finishes eating and rushes out in time for class. She says this school has everything and is basically its own country and wants to stay here forever. Talking to classmates all around, she has the time of her life just as a recent new member from her school life club, Miki, shows up and tells her that the dog is missing and they need to find him before it's too late, and she nervously calls out to their pet. They chase his barks into another room, making Yuki worried that they're disturbing the other classmates, but Miki says it doesn't matter. Doggo runs upstairs and straight into the other club member, Karumi, as the whole squad chases the dog to the roof, but instantly gets stopped by their leader of the school life club, Yuri, who scares the dog into calming down. Later, the group finds out that the dog wasn't taken for a walk yesterday, and that's why he had extra energy today. Man, they're stupid idiots. Yuki apologizes, but remembers she left her bag in the classroom and runs back to go get it. She tells her classmates that she had to go catch a dog, confusing everybody. Miki then shows up but accidentally starts crying, realizing their situation is insane because Yuki is actually imagining everyone in the entire school, and this place is actually a zombie survival shelter. With the ground floor sealed off, Miki regains her composure and walks back with Yuki as she stops to close this window, even though all the windows are completely broken. Yuki is living in her own fake reality. We find out the whole area has been attacked by unknown zombies, and the girls ended up trapped here. The next day, Miki wakes Yuki up with a ladle and takes her down to breakfast, saying today they've decided to eat something other than just emergency rations. Yuki then leads one of the girls, named Megumi, to class, as today she will be teaching her. Miki then tells the girls she saw Yuki talking to imaginary people. Since she just got here, she wonders if it's normal, but Yuri and Karumi tell Yuki should be fine, and they're happy she's at least finding some joy in these terrible circumstances. Karumi goes to check on the school defenses and sees this one zombie she thinks she can take, distracting him with a ball to catch it off guard and knock it over, but spots this picture of the person when they were alive. This causes her to lose focus and nearly dies, and after she gets scolded that it's dangerous to go out on her own, but she says it's fine. Wow. She's an idiot! Miki and Yuki find out they're starting to get low on food supplies, but are amazed with how well prepared this school was from the start, like these solar panels. They wonder if the virus has affected this area or the world, but hey, they try to cheer up. Yuki says it's almost summer vacation and she will live her best life with Megumi and the girls once they leave. Yuki announces everyone will now play a game called the Test of Courage by going over the barrier. The others are confused, but find out from Yuri they're running low on supplies and need to go to the supply room and don't want to leave Yuki alone. They all play along and head off, sneaking through the school, quiet as a mouse. They enter the grocery store and seeing no windows, they turn on the lights and let Yuki mess around while everyone else looks for supplies, and even leave money at the cashier. Oh, so adorable, pretending everything is normal. On their way back, they stop at the library to look for books, but the dog starts acting weird, and Yuki stupidly decides to run off on her own, and that's when they hear growls nearby. Megumi catches Yuki and tells her to not run off and tries to reach the others, but gets cornered by more zombies. Okay, well, it seems like we're screwed. I would have relied on the zombies' greatest weaknesses as a little 7-year-old girl. For starters, they enter the library all wrong. Schools naturally have way more entry points, open spaces, less security, and its simple layout means entry and exit of such places would have naturally been an issue. This is why this group should have been way more cautious. Entering at night was the better move, because the cover of dark would have been way more sneaky, but if I was them, caution, my dears, is way better. By stationing one person near the exit of this library to keep a lookout. Heck, even the dog would have been a good choice, as he would have been able to sense any potential straggler nearby better than any human could. With the entrance covered, I would have covered this area and split up into 2 groups, trailing around the outer perimeter, going aisle by aisle parallel from each other to comb through the entire area, and this move also means any zombie we came across in any aisle would have automatically been surrounded by us from both sides, and we could have easily tag teamed it. At this point, Yuki is about to be screwed, and since Megumi is useless, we wouldn't have been able to take down this giant zombie with our tiny little self. I would have utilized the zombie's reliance on sound and would have grabbed a book around us to throw it past the zombie's head, while we throw a second book right at it. This would have confused the zombie momentarily, and the first book we threw would have attracted the zombie's attention that's in front of us, as well as any other zombies hiding. Since again, eyes are more sensitive than ears, and there's a higher chance they would have reacted to sound better, especially in the dark of night, allowing us, a little girl, to run to safety and blame the adults for being so dumb with their tactics later. Megumi tells Yuki not to cry because her friends will be always there to save her, right as Karumi arrives swinging shovels, killing the nearby zombies and rescuing Yuki back to the group. And now we see a flash flashback of day 1 of when the zombie apocalypse started. Megumi wakes up and drives to her job at school. She gets a call from her mom but doesn't answer, not noticing the police and ambulance sirens around. She hears on the news of some virus outbreak but doesn't pay attention. Later at school, she meets Yuki and tells her to stay after home time to study extra, while she runs into Karami in the middle of after-school sports and she hears her out about her boy troubles and coaches her. Megumi goes to check on Yuki studying, but this time gets another call from her mom and finally sees the news on her phone, and Yuki says she's about to go home when Megumi tells her the trains are broken and she thinks of what to do. Yuki gets hungry, so Megumi has the idea to check on the gardening students on the roof, because that's the next logical step. Think about plants and people. Anyways, meeting Yuri and her group, who have no idea what's going on, Megumi quietly talks to Yuri about the situation and tries to call her mom, and that's when the roof door starts banging and voices from inside say they need help. Megumi cautiously checks who it is and locks the door behind them. Seeing Karami and her injured classmate who is bitten, she tells them her classmates have started biting everyone. They're all bitey, and they don't know why. When explosions are heard in the distance and banging sounds coming from behind the roof door, but this time it's different. It's people moaning, and they quickly barricade the door. Meanwhile, Karami's classmate turns into this monster, forcing Karami to put her down. Her first zombie. Adorable. Now we return to the present where the group experiences a city blackout and are temporarily out of water. Yuki suggests they go camping since there's no electricity and tells campfire stories, and everybody agrees. They set up camp and end up chatting and having fun, and Yuki tells them Megumi is coming back to check on them, so they all pretend to be sleeping and wait for Yuki to tell them when the coast is clear. Yuki tells the girls she's sad everyone will soon be graduating, but Megumi will stay behind. Miki cheers up and says Megumi was a good teacher, and Yuki tells her Megumi still works here, making Miki realize her mistake and nervously corrects herself. Wink wink. Anyways, the next day Yuki catches Miki drawing in her book of herself and another classmate, and she asks who the other person is. And here we see the events one day before they met Miki. The school life is running low on supplies again, and try not to freak out. Yuki thinks they should have a class field trip, but the others say no because they're not allowed to leave the school. Yuki counters by saying they can leave as long as it's a class field trip, reverse Unoing them into agreeing, and they discuss how to reach Megumi's car. But Karami says she can drive better and can try to bring it to the front school entrance for them. Karami attempts to go through this window to reach the car faster, and jumping down, she gets surrounded by zombie, quickly knocks the nearby ones out before sprinting to the car. Meanwhile, the others hide at the front and wait, right as Karami manages to roll up all fine in front of them, and the gang drives off. Arriving at the abandoned mall, they tell Yuki to be quiet as they enter, but don't tell her why, and quickly dash up the stairs, closing the shutter into the store behind them. Karami goes to look for food at the canteen, but spots this dog as it runs off, alerting nearby zombies for Karami to handle because hey, that's what she does. And after reaches and tells the gang what she found. They check the upper floors and decide to do a little shopping while they're at it, and suddenly the dog starts barking for no reason, and everyone can hear a faint voice. They go to check it out, opening this barricade door but find it full of zombies, unleashing the hordes into the halls. They haul butt into the halls, and they haul butt out of the mall. Ah, that rhymed, sort of. And this is when Miki heard them. She got trapped in here with a friend and a dog during the outbreak, but her friend left to go get help. Meanwhile, Yuki's group spots zombies nearby the exit below. You know, the problem with malls in general during zombie apocalypse. Like schools, malls are large and make navigation and locating exits tricky, and there's multiple entries and exits for zombies, knowing the zombie outbreak spread within a day by the look of things. This means, logically speaking, any commercial area full of people would have likely been turned into monsters on the spot, and are now waiting right where they got turned to kill more people. This means any area known for high traffic would have likely been still full of zombies, especially since it's only been a short time since the zombie outbreak began. With the power grid down, this also means any mall would have little to no lighting inside, and the built-in acoustics would have made this place a sound magnet, a death trap. Reacting to sound as the group did just now makes sense because it's logical to assume there might have been some survivors, but willy-nilly opening this door was stupid, especially when it was obviously blocked from the front. Because of how fast the virus spreads in one day, there was a high chance of zombies anywhere blocked off. I mean, come on people, haven't you seen The Walking Dead episode 1? Jeez. Anyways, I would have first waited to hear the sound more than once before opening the door, because hey, when we hear sounds, we should use our brains and listen to the various cues to determine what type of sound we're hearing. A single sound might not give us enough, but more could mean something valuable. This would also be in line with something known as evolutionary adaptation, because hey, since the old caveman times, waiting for additional cues before reacting would have helped prevent our ancestors from reacting to threats too early, since sometimes waiting to assess the threat before reacting is the smarter option. The team didn't even try to play it smart. If I was them at this very moment, when Miki is about to die, I would have had at least one person waiting outside and keep that car running for what comes next. The noise from the piano complicates the situation, because it was naturally attracting more and more zombies to Miki's location. This is why I would have worked on handling the sound of the piano first. Since it's been less than a year since the apocalypse started, I would have looked for any fire alarms around, since those rely on batteries and would have likely still been operational, sounding this off would have created a sound saturation in the area due to the mall's acoustics, which would have made it harder for the zombies inside to focus on specific noises, causing them to disperse a little. From there, I would have gotten our random friend and random dog out of Dodge, with the car still outside the mall nearby and running to help us escape with ease, because no doubt the alarm itself would have attracted more zombies nearby, because hey, nothing says dinner time than a mall's acoustics turned into a giant alarm. The group throws glow sticks to distract them, while Carmi slides down to knock down the nearby stragglers, allowing them to get out. But the dog here pulls a fast one and runs back into the mall, causing Yuki to chase it, and that's when they meet Miki for the first time trapped while trying to reach them. The others try and stop Yuki from getting too close, but she whips out this keychain alarm she found in one of the stores, alerting the hordes to follow the sound, allowing Miki to slip past them and escape, and that's how she met everybody. Now we're still in the past here a little bit, but let's carry on. The gang reaches back home and Yuki shows Miki around, and Miki notices Yuki acting like the school is completely normal and sees everyone else acting the same way. Yuki starts talking to her teacher Megumi, but she's not there. After Yuki leaves, she finds out that Yuki's mind has not been able to process what really happened and still sees and does everything as normal. And before their teacher died, Megumi said they should continue living like they had a purpose, and that's why they created the School Life Club and continue to live their lives as normal for Yuki's sake. Well, Yuki here is crazy, but what she's experiencing here is actually super normal and could happen to anyone in a situation like this, even you. Yuki here is experiencing very specific things right now. Denial. She's been blocking out the terrifying reality of the zombie outbreak due to the brain's way of avoiding intense fear and anxiety. This natural response functions as a class coping mechanism. You are correct, which allows any human under insane stress to carry on functioning. This includes the mind coming up with delusions automatically to help keep the person comfortable and stable in order to prevent them from breaking down emotionally. You know, the sad reality is that even if you guys watching safely now right at home safely boarded up your home during a zombie outbreak, your brain could still screw you over and alter your perception, causing you to basically go crazy in a highly stressful situations, and you wouldn't be able to do a dang thing about it. But while this could temporarily help, this would also prevent you from fully responding to the actual situation, because the longer someone like Yuki was left in a state like this could increase the chances of her having a full-on mental breakdown at the worst time. Because hey, when reality would eventually break through the mind's defenses, the reason why being left in this state is bad is because when reality breaks in, Yuki and anyone in this situation would experience a flood of suppressed emotions and would cause this person to shut down, go catatonic, or make them want to go kick a bucket, so to speak. Which is why in reality they could have just chained her up, gagged her, locked her in a room, and then her mental health could have been spared. Okay, that's not really helping, but hey, she's out of the way now and she's not my problem no more. The girls straight up tell Miki if she wants to stay here, she needs to play along too. Because Yuki's health is not their main concern right now, forcing Miki to agree. They all return to Yuki, who wants to have a little school life festival. Miki thinks they have better things to do, but the others tell Miki this will allow her to get to know Yuki better. Wink wink. Everyone plays pretend with the crazy person, doing random games. Karami confesses to Miki some of Yuki's random activities have helped her to keep on living, as Miki realizes that maybe living with a batshit crazy person who sees dead people might be a good thing, inspiring Miki to live a little bit more like Yuki, an insane person. And now we return to the present moment, where Miki is still getting used to pretending Megumi is still alive. The group starts to think they should get ready for winter, because winter is coming. Haha, Game of Thrones reference. Their rooftop garden is gonna take a hit. And Miki comments how impressive it is that the school has solar panels to keep everyone warm, and thanks everyone again for letting her join the group. They joke about the ride back from the mall with Miki, but fail to mention Megumi in it, and Yuki stops the conversation and wonders where Megumi was, looking in her memory, but fails to find her, and her reality starts to break a little, making her nervous. The others see this and quickly say Megumi decided to walk home that day to let the others have more room in the cars, calming Yuki down, while Miki looks super uncomfortable. She talks to the girls after and starts to think even if Yuki is happy, going along with her crazy is not gonna be a good thing, but the girls think she just doesn't understand. Nearby, Yuki calls out to Megumi while crying and tells her she will do everything to hold on to her memories. Her mind masks her sadness and she goes back to normal, just like that, snap of the fingers, running back to the others and plays with the dog. The girls think Yuki and the dog see the world the same way. She knocks this box down and they see it belongs to Megumi. Yuki says they should write letters with this box and send them into the sky. The girls agree to help keep Yuki's mind busy and legit go catch messenger pigeons, while Yuki finds some balloons she has to use. Miki and Karmi wonder if anyone will find their letters since they don't think it's possible the whole world could be dead. But what if it was? Oh, depressing thought. And return with some helium. Ooh, I love helium. And a cage for the pigeons. But Miki spots some mysterious keys in Megumi's box and hides it before Yuki sees it. Ooh, what are the keys? What do? Everyone writes a letter about their hopes and dreams for the future. The girls discuss how they must leave this horrifying, wonderful place soon. Soon, Yuki suggests they write about what they're currently doing to make their dreams come true. Well, they'll all be writing the same thing because we're helping a crazy person live out her delusions. I'm kidding, they don't do that. Yuki talks about all the fun things while everyone else secretly just wants to do one thing: survive. That night, Yuri and Miki notice more zombies that have started to surround the school. Well, Miki tells Yuri of the key she found, and Yuri holds on to it for now. The next morning, they get ready to send off the letters. For some reason, letting go of the pigeon, Karami spent so long trying to catch while their letters take off into the sky. Interesting. Why they didn't keep the bird for food is beyond me. Miki's letter was to her friend that left her at the mall, and Miki recites an old poem that was her favorite, and the others secretly hope their letters are caught by someone who can somehow save them. Later, Yuri tries to figure out where Megumi's key goes, but Yuki shows up in a mess with the dog and goes to clean off. Miki tells Yuki to live every day to the fullest, and they should start working harder since they'll graduate soon. The girls hang around and discuss what jobs they want to get. Yuri remembers Megumi was the one behind creating the school life club, to give the surviving girls a purpose to keep on living. Yuri starts to obsess over Megumi's key, and that night tries to figure it out, while Miki comes out not able to sleep. She now thinks this school, having extra food storage, a garden on the roof, and solar panels, wasn't random, and suspects this school was designed exactly for this type of situation. The girls think the key is the key, to solving the mystery. They can't wait, and Yuri drags Miki to the school office. Miki thinks they've already looked in here, but this time Yuri wants to look around everywhere. And just then Yuki comes in and says she had a bad dream. They straight up lie to Yuki and tell her Megumi wants them to find a box with a keyhole she hid, putting this 8-year-old to work. I have no idea how old she is. Miki plays around and takes her picture, reminding Yuri of the day they took Megumi's picture the day she died. Yuri then asks Yuki if she remembers the day they took Megumi's picture. Miki knows what Yuri is doing and cautiously distracts Yuki from thinking too much about it. She quietly asks her what the hell she's doing. Yuri coldly says Megumi literally died right after they took their picture, noticing even more zombies outside. Yuki then finds a secret compartment in the wall and a safe, and they use Megumi's key and find out it opens, finding the CD and file inside. Yuki tries to see what it is, but Yuri tells her to go tell Megumi they found the box, and so they send the crazy person away. Oh, this girl's gonna blow up in their face at some point. Oh, it's gonna be glorious. Anyway, these two stare in shock at what the file contains. Yuri tells Miki to go wake up Karami as soon as possible. The gang finds this document contains information on a bioweapon that has the ability to contaminate and infect humans, warning anyone who is not infected that they must avoid contact to ensure the survival of humanity, confusing the crap out of the girls what's going on, while Yuki has a full-on conversation with Megumi about the box. Yes, she is insane. The next day, the girls decide to clean the pool on the roof, which is more like a container where water is kept. Miki and Yuri and Karami wonder if Yuki knew about the document the whole time, but Yuri doesn't think so. They also found information on 2 extra floors below the school that they never knew about and agree to check it out later. Yuki comes back, being a distraction as usual to help clean the pool, and everyone starts having an epic cowboy water gun fight, running around dueling shots of wet good on their butts. The dog smells the CD player belonging to Miki's lost friend and misses her. The gang notices Miki feeling down about her missing friend, but Yuki tells her to just have so much fun at school that she forgets about her friend, and they'll show up eventually. Okay. Everyone finishes the day on a high note and passes out exhausted, but not the dog because he wakes up smelling something he recognizes. He manages to slip off of his leash and go down through the school into the secret floor underground, howling at something in this tunnel. A mysterious figure starts going towards him and discovers it's zombie Megumi. Whoa! The next day, the girls all relax during a rainy day, but Miki notices Yuki seems sad and finds out it was also raining the day Megumi died. They got too comfortable and she paid the price. Since then, Yuki has been living in delusions as more and more student zombies have started showing up back outside. Yuri says they need to figure out where to go because they're out of defenses. If the zombies break in this time, they will not be able to stop them. Yuki comes in and says the dog is missing. They laid out food to bring him back, but it doesn't work, so they go split up to find it. But Karami notices the dog's footprints leading down past the basement into the secret area that the map told them about. She finally spots the dog, but he's now turned into a horrifying zombie dog and tries to attack her. In shock, Karami manages to lock him in this room, and she hears another zombie sound. Going to investigate, she finds out it's Megumi. Unable to handle any more shock, she freezes up as Megumi attacks her. Back upstairs, Yuki hears more zombies pressing on the ground floor doors, but thinks it's nothing. Wow! Her power of delusion is impressive. As the other girls return, including Karami, who is now bitten, they try to hold her down, but she quickly starts turning into a zombie. The pressure starts to get to Yuki, and Miki arrives back and says according to the hidden manual they found, there is a cure, just as the zombies below finally break through, reaching the final barrier to the top floor. Yuki notices it's raining just like the day Megumi died, and starts to notice the windows of the school are broken, something she's never noticed before. Show up from the corner as Yuki recognizes it's her classmates, and her reality finally breaks. She screams, the others hear her, but more zombies have reached reach them. Yuki runs to Miki and tells her to get to the club room, as everyone barricades themselves where Yuki is resting. Miki says they have to get to the cure to save Karumi and the dog. Miki thinks Yuki needs to focus up, so she tricks Yuki's mind into going back into innocent mode, and it works, and she's now blissfully ignorant and can help them. She tells her to stay in the room where she goes to find the cure. Rushing off past the zombies, unlike Karumi, she's too weak, and the generator on the roof finally explodes, setting the zombies and the roof on fire. Downstairs, Miki runs into more zombies, but turns on the CD speaker to distract them. Dodge, dip, duck, and dive, all the cool things, avoiding the baddies and reaching the bottom floor, spotting Megumi coming out of the shadows. Unable to do it at first, she focuses up and finally strikes her down. Just as then, the school alarm finally rings as the power levels reach critical level. As she rushes to the medical supply room, spotting this box and finds the zombie cure. My, how convenient. She takes it and tries to go back the same way, but zombies have now reached the bottom floor too, forcing her to trap herself in this room with no escape. Look, this school was set up to fail, and this should have been expected. They mentioned near the beginning they didn't have any more resources to maintain the school defenses, but they still didn't bother to try and resupply even though they went on countless supply runs. Wow. Since their food levels were not critical at the time, they should have prioritized the maintenance and repair their defenses. That should have been their top priority, because over the days it's noted there were more zombies gathering around the school, and the concentrated mass of hordes would have increased the chances that they would have started breaking through the building just from sheer number sizes. If I was them, I would have focused on coming up with a game plan to escape, since the end was inevitable. It's noted that the parking garage was closed to the entrance, which means I would have tried to see if we could have positioned the room where we all slept right across from the parking lot, like here, and kept extra food inside and extra fortification around the entrance of the room. And here's why. Even if we couldn't stop the zombies from coming in, having a final last stand room that we could hold out from would have given us time to climb down from the window, since we would have been right across from our getaway vehicle, and it was obvious that the end was coming. I would have figured out a way to tie a rope so that we could climb down from the window when shit hit the fan, even going so far as to drill hooks into the wall so we could rappel down in speed. If we want to get extra smart, we could have also freaking I Am Legended, some kind of battery-powered device during our supply runs to place on the side of the school that we could have set off to drive any zombies still in our car to the other direction, like battery-powered alarm clocks operated by remote devices. The point is, they should have planned something from the moment they saw more and more hordes circling the school. Meanwhile, Yuki heads to the area where Megumi died, and all of her memories start to return. She realizes she can't keep ignoring scary things and finally makes peace with Megumi's death. Gosh, that took forever. Clearing her head, she rushes to grab a baseball bat, fire extinguisher, and rushes to help the others, while all the other girls are now at their breaking point. Yuki flies through the zombies right as the dog shows up, killing some zombies around her. Yuki thinks he must have some memories, but then starts growling and attacks her. She catches him in this blanket and locks herself in the school's radio room. As more zombies start banging on it, she apologizes to the dog and wonders if the zombies might still have some memories deep inside of them. Realizing this, she turns on the school speakers and tells all the zombies school is over and it's time for them to go home. The sound from her announcement lures all the zombies away from the school, and they all start to leave the school. Flash forward to the next day, the girls are all sleeping together, and we see Miki has returned with the medicine and has given Karumi and the dog the medicine. Karumi has been cured, and even Doggo, but he's still weak. They give him food, but surprise, he actually dies. They think he was a zombie for too long, and they gave a good little cry fest before burying his butt. Later, they collect food from the school's last supply basement and prepare to leave the now broken down school. Yuri tells the girls she found something that Megumi left behind, this map with this symbol on it, and think it's the location of the evacuation area. Yuki returns with some supplies, but they notice this package of ham has a bite mark on it. They think it's not from a zombie and it's too small to be the dog's, making them suspect there was another dog in this basement the whole time, and this is why their dog was down there, because he wouldn't go to a scary place for no reason. Yuri tells them they didn't see any dog when she went down and thinks he must have left too. They suddenly drop this random fact, and Yuki decides to hold a graduation for all of them, and they talk about their hopes and dreams of the future and move on. They all thank the School Life Club for teaching them about life, and they all take off towards the evacuation area as Yuki says this trip is now like a graduation trip, as they discuss what all fun they want to do, and end on a random note. Elsewhere, the letters the girl wrote finally land at this unknown location where this mysterious man picks it up. The end.
But what do you guys think about the video? Let us know what you like about it and what you didn't like about it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. And as always, don't forget to check out our How to Beat playlist.